everyone. This is Nitya Ramachandra from the NR Hour Sports Show. This is episode 1020. We are live with a special guest. Oh, by the way, happy Friday. I hope everyone has a great weekend and turn up. Hopefully, everyone turns up this weekend too. But we are live with Runner Eve. She is a amazing, talented, inspiring, beautiful woman out there. She's a runner. She has her own clothing brand, and she's the owner of Believe and Achieve, which I love, believing and achieving. So, first of all, Eve, I just want to say thank you for joining the show. We are live on iHeartRadio, Spotify, Anchor, on all the podcast platforms. Please, fans, you can tune in and ask questions to Runner Eve today on our Spreaker app. So we always love fan interaction. So please tune in for this one. This is going to be a special one. Like I said, inspiring story. Looking forward to hearing more about her story and how she got started in running. So Runner Eve, thank you again for joining the show. It's truly an honor and welcome.
Thank you. It's an honor to be on the show today. I appreciate you and your time. And definitely it's exciting to link up and share the message of Believe and Achieve. And I know a lot of people out there kind of wondering how it all got started. Mm-hmm. And so just to kind of tell you from the background of it, Believe and Achieve wouldn't be there if there wasn't a Runner Eve. And why I say that is just because Runner Eve is something that I had to find myself. I've started ever since I was a little kid athletically since third grade. I know a lot of times people at third grade are outside, playing recess, all this stuff, but I was training already. And I was actually training for long jump and triple jump with my brother. That was my coach. And, they never thought I was probably going to be a runner because I was always so competitive training at that. And then it was me seeing other people and runners push themselves to another body limit that not a lot of people can do.
Yeah.
So as a kid, I was very grasped to that. I've always saw my family, they were athletic. My brother played football and he ran, and my sister, she did running. And I have another sister, softball running, and a littler sister. They do running. And, in fact, it's been a part of us. But my mom always made sure, she was a single parent. She raised us all on our own, and she made sure that I would go to the best of the best events I could to get to go out there. I come from a small town, and so I would have to travel. And if that meant she was working 2 to 3 jobs or anything extra income just to make it happen, she was, because that's how far she believed in me as a kid. And so I know I went to like the Jesse Owens for little kids, track and field meets. And it was when I think I really started having people wonder like, wow, she's really serious about this. Cause I remember placing second, never done it. And after that, I started running. I wanted to run. I switched my mind. I said, I just want to run. I see the people on the track running. I can do that too. And so I remember just running all the way in middle school. And even in middle school, they would have to put me with the seniors to actually compete to run with them. So I would have competition. It was just, I was on a different level where I didn't give up. Yes, we all get tired, but I knew my race wasn't finished at that point. And I did a lot of extra activities in the summertime, just training. My mom would go out there if it was her driving her car while I run, because she's like, I'm not running with you. But she did. And I had so much help. Even in high school, our high school coach, he had made an obstacle course for us at one of the parks. And it was for the cross country and track team, just so we could practice in the summertime. That's not normal. A lot of times people just it's out for the summer, relax, hang out with friends.
Yeah.
But he definitely saw how serious I was. And, there was a lot of push even from a younger age. And I remember it was a big deal because I had went on a track and field scholarship from my town all the way up to Wichita, Kansas. So I ran for Wichita State University track and field.
Yeah.
And I, it was a big step for me because I've never been to Kansas, but it was all a leap of faith. I know over time talking to my mom, that was my biggest, person in my corner pushing me. She's like, don't ever be scared. Don't limit yourself. Go out there. And she's like, I want to be selfish and keep you back in Texas. but she knew there was a bigger purpose. I probably didn't at the time. And I ran all the way through college. I mean, I ran with some of the best runners competitively. So after college, I had stopped running, and I stopped running for a good 10 years. And, your body changes, stuff happens. And, my mom had passed away,
Oh, wow.
and she was very healthy. It was a really shock to everybody because she's the one, if she saw you eating something bad, she's like, you shouldn't be doing that. And so she, always looked out for us. So it took us by surprise because she didn't have any health problems, nothing. And so after she had passed away unexpectedly, it was a year after that. Running company reached out to me, and they encouraged me to get back into running. And they told me about a race. And during that time of the race, I didn't have only but a month to prepare for it. But at first I almost said no, just because, again, 10 years not running, I was definitely a different person. And I think it was because of her that pushed me a lot, because when they told me the date of the race, it was the day of my mom's birthday.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, stuff like that just doesn't happen. And I knew it was her saying, hey, you still got a lot more in you. Yeah, I was nugging you when I was on earth, but I'm still telling you from above, get back into it. And it was really good experience for me. That changed everything. It was from that moment. I remember a month only had to train, and I didn't look like your normal runner. I lost my body, how I look like as a runner. And so people sometimes didn't even recognize me. And I remember I kind of got like some doubts when they see me up there at the starting line up with some of the competitive runners, and they were just kind of like, who's this person running? They thought maybe I was what they call in track and field like a bunny runner. So I was just going to start off the pace fast and then die out. But literally, no, I ran. That was probably the hardest run of my entire life. And I ran competitively against a lot of runners, but it's different when you're not in shape. You're twice the size like you used to be. I mean, I was really out of it. And I remember at that point, I was about 185 pounds. And after I finished, everybody was celebrating just because I finished 11th out of 209 runners. And people were shocked. They're like, how did this person beat us that hasn't trained? We've been on running clubs. I even had one girl, I remember, that I wasn't going to do it. And she was like, I tried to chase you down the whole time. And I just told him, I was like, I was amazed I finished, definitely. But then I looked around and I knew it was because I literally had people out there at different sections of each mile cheering me on because they knew the purpose. They came with signs. They knew I was doing it in honor of my mom. And so it was very touching. And I felt like I don't want to let them down, and I think that's probably why I had the race of my life. And just to see people that believed in me and saw how I was able to achieve against all odds, that got me into running again. That was how Runner Eve started getting the name Runner Eve. I started doing races. I started doing 5Ks, getting back into it. I remember even shortly after that, the summer had passed because it was cold in January when I ran that. I ended up winning a woman's race. So that was the Diva Dash I ran. And I just started taking off again where my calling was with running. But during the process, what's important is I met a lot of awesome people. People that doubted themselves and saying, I can't do these races. I'll be lucky if I walk a lap or something. And I could relate to them. I was like, no, I know what you're going through. I was terrified when I had to do my race, and you can do this. And so, I had actually started some programs, 30-day challenges, we would call them. And it was just getting people to prepare and help running and getting that confidence. Because I realized the reason why I did it 30-day challenges because I only had a month. And it was for fun to get them back into it. And I started seeing like stories from people after they did their first. Oh, I can't wait for the next one. Like they went for the person that wanted to do one, terrified to, I'm going to run the next one. Let me know. And so I started getting to talk to a lot of people. Well, during that process, you kind of learn their story and their background. Everybody has a unique story on what brought them to that. And it was very heartwarming. I mean, it could be anytime at 2 a.m. or 5 o'clock. I'm reading emails and stories, and it's just letting the people know that you're there and that they're not just a number, that you're actually taking the time to go with them. And that's the reward in itself. And, I started thinking and hearing feedback. There's a lot of people that were at a bigger size and they were struggling. They're like, well, why do we get left out when it comes to working out? We want the good stuff too that looks good. And I'm like, that's true. I mean, a lot of times I feel like certain clothings are only made for a certain type. And so my thinking with it and thinking of the name, I was like, well, you guys, everybody had believed in me to achieve. And I think that's the most fitting name to have it. And when I was coming up with it, it was kind of unique because my name's a part of that.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like thinking about it, I was like, it just goes hand in hand, believe and achieve. We all have a reason. So I started the line, and it's now been a year, going on almost a year and 4 months, celebrating it. It started off with the women's line, then it developed to the men's, and then to the juniors, and then from kids. So I've got youth ages. So I didn't ever want to put it to where it's only to one type.
Yeah.
I branched out and did from youth sizes all the way to 4XL. It's for men and women. It's not just workout though, because I wanted a different approach, because sometimes people want to carry the message, maybe not work out. So that's fine. I have the leisure wear and the athletic wear. And it's soft feel, comfort. But how I designed it creatively is I do a certain amount of each pieces. And once it's sold out, it's gone. So you have to wait to the next launch, which is a little bit different. So each piece will be unique. I think each person has a different unique story. So that's why I want to keep everything separately and limited, because not everybody's the same way. So a lot of creativity was put into it, thinking of the name, and I've been able to do different stuff, experiences I probably didn't even dream of. I've been able to go to Miami, Florida with the brand. Yes. And
let's go.
I need another reason to go again. But it was a awesome experience from a little girl that grew up from a small town in West Texas, going to Kansas, and then ended up in Florida, a place I always dreamed or saw about on TV. It was epic. It was so awesome. And just to have people there that recognize the band or would stop me and ask about the brand. It was awesome experience. And I took that and just keep going even further. I want to keep doing more. I don't limit myself. And I say, every city and state, aren't my words, everybody's going to carry that message. I feel like it's important because a lot of times there's a lot of stuff going on in the world.
Yes.
And we need that positivity. Not everybody has a good day, but just knowing that you still have that hope and you have somebody listening to you and believing in you, that makes a big difference for sometimes people just to achieve their goals. I've had people, we sold like a shirt in Australia, and that was just because he heard the story, just, word of mouth. That's been very powerful. I've had the community support me. My hometown, got to give them shout out, Big Spring, Texas. And, just different states, a lot of love for out of states. I thought maybe that might be hard because I wasn't necessarily from them, but they've been actually some of the biggest supporters, California, Florida, got New York. We just recently sold something. So everything's like a new milestone and exciting.
Wow.
Definitely not an easy process. Not a lot of times people say, oh, it looks fun and exciting. I just want to get into a clothing line, and I tell them there's a lot that goes into that. It's not just you think of something and sell it. I'm sure some people may do that, but for me, it was more of a meaning behind it. It's not just a clothing brand. Anybody could put a clothing brand out there and just label it to make money off of. Mine comes with a deeper meaning and message. What it's for is to help each other, to spread that awareness of positivity and the faith and helping each other along the way. Not just, okay, you bought a shirt, bye. it's a real connection we still keep. Like, that's why a lot of times I'll probably work myself around the clock, but it's important to me to make sure I'm reaching out to everybody that showed support. That without the support, Believe and Achieve couldn't be here. Runner Eve couldn't have been here. And so I'm always going to be grateful to everybody that's helped. We've done pop-up events. We've done it when it was 98 degrees and that was a workout, sweating, carrying everything. And even from when it's cold, and I've been able to go to different events where it's just not athletic. I've done some winery events. I've done pop-up shops where it was just like a gift exchange. I've done pop-up shops for breweries. Wow. We have a big one coming up this Saturday at a car show. So that just shows you it's not just placed in one little stigmatized bucket. It's for everybody. Wow. It's been a joy and process. I have a lot of hands-on helping me. Definitely it's hours put into it, but I thank the people that helped me with it. One of the best persons I would say out there helping me, of course, is my family. They're a strong supporter, all of them. Day or night, if I have to call them or text my idea, like, what do you think about this? Or give me your opinion. They're there to help me. It's never like, oh, here we go again. It's, they know the feedback is important to see it from a different perspective. Definitely I call like the brands manager that helps me is Modena. Her name's Modena Willis, and no matter the assignment, she's there with me. And, she's somebody I'm thankful for because she's been there from the start where we've taken probably the assignment in pop-up events some people didn't want to even do because it's too cold or hot. Wow. To, seeing and helping me at 2 a.m. or 3 a.m. trying to get the process done of the orders and the shirts. It's a full-time job, and, it's rubbed off even to her daughter, Vea, that loves it. She's like, I want to be a part of it. So, that's what also helped me with the juniors part. She's been an awesome supporter. Wow. And just seeing the kids, you never think, I know a lot of times adults will say, you're doing a good job and do this, but to see the actual love from little kids is what's so precious. I know my niece, she's my namesake, Victoria Eve, and she talks about it. She'll stop no matter what she's doing in the day. Like, she has a state tournament for softball today, but yeah, she's still taking the time to text me, say good luck, how proud she is of the brand. And to think of a little kid so mature, that it's been tons of stuff like that from little kids to my nephews, taking pride in it. They said, you should be happy. Who made these? Aunt Eve. But that's been the rewarding process in myself. I know it's never easy, but, sharing my story with people out there, I was nervous at first because I think people might have judged me and said, who is this girl that was once a runner, always in shape, and then lost herself and became overweight? Sometimes people look at that. And I definitely had a lot to overcome, but I knew definitely there was a higher purpose at the moment. I may not have understood that helped me get to where I am today with everything.
Oh, wow. Well, what an amazing story there. And man, a lot of things to touch on. And first of all, I just want to say sorry for your loss about your mother. And obviously that's tough, and losing a mother and a family member. So sorry about that. And also congrats on your 1-year anniversary. I think it was, you just mentioned before. So congrats on that. And I'm surprised. Did you reach out? We should help. We should put this as a feature somewhere on there's this thing called ESPN 30 for 30. They do a lot of stories on a lot of athletes. I think your story is such a amazing, inspiring thing. I think we need to put your story on like a future, like a 30 for 30 future, in my opinion. What do you think about that? We need to work on that, I think, in my opinion.
I'd be good. You going to be there with me?
Oh, I'll definitely be there. We're ready. My team and I are already 100% behind your back, Eve. Like seriously, we're here to help you. We're here to help grow your platform. And like I said, I think your story deserves like a future. Someone needs to future your story, in my opinion.
Yeah, I appreciate it. And that's the awesome support I'm talking about, just you wanting to help out.
Yeah.
That's what's really been part of the process that's helped me to help others. And I think together, I say we stepped together, we went together. The race isn't finished for any of us. No. And you'll hear me a lot of times say the race isn't done. that was my mom's iconic way of saying it. After every race she was out there, hot or cold, she's like, finish the race. And, we've got a race out there. It is like a long marathon. And there's a lot more to come that we don't know at the moment. But if we can help each other along the way, that's winning for me. If someone's ever having a bad day, just giving them a pat or being there, an ear to listen to. And that's why a lot of times I'll do these different type of drawings. I like to get back to businesses. I do stuff where, like one drawing we had, I connected with the barber. It's not even locally here. It was in a different city. And I linked up with them to do a promotion. I said, well, how about I just do a drawing? I will have somebody get a free haircut by you. Just make somebody's day feel special. And I've had stuff from a baker where I said, well, let me just get whatever you're selling and let's do a drawing. So definitely it's working with different businesses.
Wow.
And just random stuff. Sometimes I know, gas is high nowadays. So I'll do a $75 drawing. I mean, just by supporting or spreading the message. Like, my thing is, it's not about the money. It's about helping that person that needs it at the time. You never know. You can make a difference. And I've had people reach out to me that at the time they're like, I don't know how you knew, but you knew just to message me and give me that uplifting words. And I wouldn't have known. It's just being yourself and true to yourself that can make a difference to people on it.
And also, I want to say something here. Who cares about how you look or what your body looks like? You're amazing. You're beautiful. You have an amazing body. You're in good shape, and you're still running. And who cares? I don't know. Like, it's weird how people look at your body and say negative things. In my opinion, I don't care about that. It's just you have amazing body. You're beautiful, Eve. So there you go.
I appreciate it. I mean, and that's why a lot of times where I do events. So I do boot camps. I'll do outdoor boot camps or even some events at a place at Dene, Dakota. That's Muscle Mimosas. So I do an aspect of creativity work. Yes, you get a hard workout, but you get a reward too. And I definitely keep it that way because it's important to have fun with it.
Yes.
I think a lot of times that's why I've been able to get clients, and I do online courses. So I'll actually train them online, or if they're local, then in person. But the difference is I don't put the pressure on them to have the chiseled, stereotypical 6 abs and all this. It's healthy. Like, I just want you to be healthy, your mindset, because that plays a role with it, your confidence, and just being healthy to live longer. And, I'll joke with people, I'll be like, I'm still going to be that 100-year-old runner running, and I expect you to still be up there. But that's where it's made a difference, is because not everybody has to look the same way. And, I knew what I went through on my comeback with everybody judging and thinking, oh my gosh, who's this person that was 100 pounds and went to 185 and, got down healthier. And for me, that's where I've been the happiest, is because I learned about myself. I had to go through pain. I tell people, you go through pain to learn the happiness. And that's what happened this time.
Well, so we are live with Runner Eve. She's a runner, and she has her own clothing brand. She's the owner of Believe and Achieve. We got fans chiming in big time. So a couple of our fans are saying, thank you for sharing the story today on a Friday. And they're saying you're such an inspiration. And one of our fans has a question for you. They want to know, they want to know, how do you balance your schedule out at the same time? Because it's really important for an athlete or a runner to get some sleep in between too, while you're messaging your clients or whoever you're talking to. But they want to know, how do you balance it all out and then try and get some sleep too?
Definitely sleep. That's hard.
Yeah.
But I know that's part of it. I've accepted the assignment and the mission. Every step I'm taking, I know what fuels me is knowing that I'm helping everybody in the process. It is very hard. There's times where I've only had 3 to 4 hours of sleep and then had to go to an event or pack up to do another run. It's basically, I've learned I put a lot of people first to help them out, because that's so dear to me. And there are times when if I ever feel myself like I'm working too much, I'll just take a day, a day to relax. I call it a me day, just to relax, no TV, phones, nothing, just keep it basic. And I'll even just go for a run, no watch, nothing, just put some good music on in my headphones and just get lost with it. For me, running helps a lot with balancing that. A lot of times, some people think of it just as a workout, but exercise itself helps to release that stress because it can be very stressful. Nothing's perfect. I mean, I had a good example at a pop-up event. My car had overheated. It was 100 degrees.
Wow.
And I had to be at this pop-up event. Well, we get to the pop-up event. Also, the tent falls down on me and screws are flying everywhere. It just gave out. And then I had all like the clothing fell down and it was like literally one thing after another. Well, on top of that, also when trying to get rid of the tent to put it in place, I put my hand and get all these thorns in my hand. So it's like, I've learned to accept it. I could have easily got mad, yelled at the world, say, why me, pity me. But I don't, because I said, you know what, this is a true test. It's a true test. When you've gone through life and you've had so much stuff taken to you or tested you, you learn there's a better purpose. At the moment, it may not have made sense, but I know it was to toughen me up for a reason. And afterwards, you know, the day was good. I got a lot more blessings, a new tent, everything happened. So like, you got to learn stuff like that, accept it. That's the difference is I embrace the challenge. And some people may back away where I love to embrace the challenge.
So another fan question, someone wants to know where they can find the 30-day challenge.
So you can email me if that's easier, because I know sometimes people don't get on a social media. So you can go to runnereve1@gmail.com. Or the website too, I'll post some events. So even if it's events, I do travel, so it's not just locally, so it can be in their area. You can go to www.runnereve.com. Or also I do post it. I'll have it on Facebook or Instagram, Runner Eve. I also post all my stuff on there for events or even the training programs to try out.
Oh, wow. Yeah, so there you go, fans. Copy that email down if you want to try out the 30-day challenge with Eve. So email her. But I'm just curious. When do you going back to Florida next? And also, I'm from New Jersey, New York. We need to meet up in person one day. So when do you go back to Florida or New Jersey, New York?
I would love New York too. Yeah. I got to experience that. But definitely October is when I'm trying to go back out.
Okay.
To go. The reason I was thinking of New York is because I also know in September they're having a fashion week. Mm-hmm. So, but I just loved Florida too. So I think October, because that's when my birthday is. So nice. October would be a perfect month to go out there and just get some more stuff done for the brand. Wow. But yes, we have to meet in person. It'd be awesome.
Yeah, I need to meet you in person, Eve. Seriously. Because we need to help. I want to, like I said earlier, we need to help spread your story more and make it into the future. I want to make this into the future somehow. But yes. Yeah. So tell our fans. So when it comes to running, do you tell our fans do you like to train in the cold weather, warm weather? Obviously, warm weather is nice, but which more do you like? Which has where your body adapts more to just. Where do you adjust to? Cold weather or warm weather? Warm weather.
I'd say cold weather. I know I like the harder one. Because in Kansas, you never know with the weather. Yeah. One day it could be hot, one day it could be snow. It's definitely different places. And I think the reason why is also because that's how I got my start back into running was in January when I ran the race for my mom. So each year we do it in honor for her since 2015 of running. And I've actually, this past year, it was awesome. I actually have a group now. So definitely I'm going to start it opening it up to people. And hopefully down the line, I'd like to do even host my own running event where I'm actually hands-on hosting it. But definitely the cold weather. I do give props to people that do it with me on this last one because you're sometimes running at 9 degrees, 13 degrees. It's very cold. Wow. That wind hits your chest and it's very hard. But like I said, I've been a person that loves to embrace challenge. I don't let snow stop me. When we had probably got a good 7 inches of snow and I knew I couldn't go out on the road and drive to go to the gym. I said, well, I'm doubling up close. I went out, ran for an hour and a half in the cold, came back, had icicles on my eyebrows.
Oh my God.
Face was so red. I probably did get some frostbite, I'm pretty sure. But that's what I say. I'll never make an excuse. No matter the assignment, I'm going to face it head on. Summertime, I feel like it's easier on the breathing. It's hotter, so you're going to sweat more. But I would definitely say I'm a cold weather person to run.
Well, yeah. So back home in New Jersey, I go to this gym called Sets Hybrid Training. It's like a group class, and they do like group fitness classes. And we had our big, it's called Tribe Fitness. If you heard of it, Tribe Fitness Challenge. We had our big challenge a couple of weeks ago, and at a baseball stadium. It's like an obstacle course, and every station, for example, you have a ski machine, you have a box jump or a bike, and whatever. So after each machine, you have to run a lap around the whole stadium. So have you done any of those like obstacle courses before, where you obviously there's running involved, but also using a machine or some other equipment?
I have not had a chance to yet. It's funny you mentioned that because one of my friends is trying to get a group together. They're called the Warrior Dash. Mm-hmm. So where you have to climb over stuff and it's really tough. Like you're going through extreme heat weather. I have not had a chance to do that yet just because of the schedule, but I would love to do something like that. I'm always open. So I said, somebody wants to join me and do it. I'm your girl. I'm going. I got the disadvantage on the height, but I promise you I can run. But I love events like that. I do have a group of ladies that I've been training, and we're talking about trying to do something fun like a bubble run. And that's just running. Supposedly there's supposed to be all these bubbles around the way that are coming at you. Anything creative like that, I'm all for. I think it's fun to do stuff like that.
Yes. I mean, this was my first Tribe. I got 1 hour, like 12 minutes, and that's shit. I mean, it's like it's hard because it was raining at the same time, downpouring for us, and we were on the field, and we had to do bear crawls on the field, and it was horrible. And we had to, our hands kept slipping, but it was fun, but the drinks felt better afterwards. Once you, like you said, hard work, and then you get a reward at the end. So we got a reward at the end after we did this hard work. So it paid off. It was worthwhile.
Was that your first time ever doing that?
First time Tribe for me. I mean, I've been with the place for like 2.5 years now, but the first time doing an event like that, and it's amazing how they set it up, and a lot of people join. And I'll send you pictures of it later, but it's amazing event. I think if they have in Kansas or wherever, whenever you come down to Jersey or New York, I'll introduce you to that place. So.
And how did you feel afterwards? Like, were you kind of shocked?
I felt tiring, and and afterwards it felt good because the drinks felt good, obviously, and everything felt good afterwards. So
that's the feeling I always tell people. It's kind of like an event high. I tell people, because you're so terrified when it happens, but then afterwards you finish it and you're like, whoa, what did I just do? I had one of those. I did right when COVID had happened. I wanted to challenge myself because, a lot of stuff had shut down. And I think that was probably the most time I saw a lot of people outdoors running, like just because they needed a way to get out of the house. And I wanted to do something as a runner to test my limits. And I said, let me try to run a marathon. And I remember at first, one of my friends was talking to Modena. She's like, you're going to do what? And I said, I'm going to run a marathon. I can do it. I said, I know it's going to be harder because it's not like an actual race where I have people that I sometimes feel like if you have people there with you, it keeps you more engaged. And I've never done one, but I said, I want to try to do it. And then I said, I'll dedicate it to my mom, another new leap of faith I took with her. And she's like, okay. And so I remember I had to train for it. First, I did small steps, like, okay, 10-mile run, 13-mile run to get to that level. When I finally did, it was an overall rewarding experience. That's a long time. I remember after the 13th mile point turning around, I was like, I got 13 more miles to go, a little bit over 13 because it's a little bit over 26. And I give a lot of respects for that type of running because your mindset goes into a different type. I remember like I felt like looking at a tree and it was going to fall down on me. And I was like, oh my gosh, that's just me because my mind is like in another place. and your brain is telling you to keep going.
Yes.
Like the last 3 miles, every step I felt like I had like knives or something going into my chins. Like it was very hard. And now I never understood why people would say, oh, they pass out at the line or they had to get dragged to the finish. Well, I understand it now because I've been through that experience. Like your mind goes through a different experience than maybe what your body is allowing you to do. And we did have a plan because I said, oh, runner, you can't be passed out on the ground. So she brought me up every Gatorade halfway to just even like get something in my system. But that was a big true test to me because it was just something I didn't do it at a big event. I didn't do it for with other people. It was just me personally going one-on-one. And I felt like it was a way of just me kind of having a moment with me and my mom in spirit.
Hmm. Well, yeah. So speaking of your mother, one of our fans want to know what's it like to be honoring your mom after on behalf of your clothing brand and of your running when you run and honoring your mom every year. And the one who told you never to give up and believe in what you can achieve. That's what your mom said, and they want to know what's it like just to honor her now.
It's very happy. I think to me, it's still a way I feel like she's still near. It's always hard when you lose a loved one. And, I think that's why it took a while for me to bounce back. And just being able to see where I was at the time and not a happy place to now, it's been so rewarding. And just to see the love that everybody has and why it's special is because my mom, she loved helping people. I mean, if it was her last dollar, she was gonna give you a last dollar. She loved little kids. She, definitely had worked their time at a daycare center, just loved kids and substituting and was a pastor. Like she did it all. And she that was very precious to her. So when I see like the smile people get, and that's why I went with the soft feel, because I kind of wanted it to have that warm, fuzzy feeling like somebody's giving you a hug, like that uplift. And that's something my mom would have done. She, you have a bad day, she's gonna give you the biggest hug. That smile that she had just made any worry go away. It's been amazing because I feel like I'm still keeping her legacy going, and
Yeah.
it's doing what she loved to do, helping people. And so that it makes me feel like she's just closer every time I see her. I get weird, some people would say that's a coincidence or weird thing that happens. Like different times she'll speak out to me during the process. I know when it's like the race, she loved snow on that day. And when I'm from Texas, it does rarely snow there.
Yeah.
The day of the race, before it happened, it had snowed a lot. And I was like, oh, why did you have to give me the sign of the snow? Because I almost didn't make it because of road conditions, but we did. Or, even my last interview there is a lady in the car with me, right? And she was talking about her experience because she had asked me about the clothing brand I had on. I had just gotten done with a photo shoot. And so I told her about it, and she kind of looked at me like in awe, and I was like, are you okay? And she was like, yeah. She's like, this is just so weird. She's like, I do marketing, and she's like, my mom just passed away out of nowhere from a heart attack like your mom. And she's like, and she was perfectly healthy. They couldn't explain it. And she's like, that was in October. Well, October is my birthday month. And her mom was 63. My mom was 62 when she passed away. So it was very, very close to each other. And I knew then again, I was like, Mom, you're giving me another sign. So along the process, I get those moments, and there's been so many, not just those, where I feel like she's still here with me.
Oh, yeah. So speaking of best moments, tell our fans, what would you say your best memorable runs you've been a part of so far?
I would definitely say the best one would be the one I dedicate to my mom. That one I survived. I'm still here. But I would probably say the Diva Dash, because it was a way of competing with other female runners, and you were able to kind of go with the best of the best. And that was the one I remember ended up winning. And And why it was a highlight, because that was only my second race after the first one I did in January. So I had time to prepare, and just knowing that runner could still kick into me was the best feeling. These knees aren't the best after so many years of running. So it was awesome. And I think every time when I see people lined up, like hearing people scream and shout, and just the awesome feeling I get from that is the best. But then I would also say, probably another race of mine was when I did the Prefontaine Classics, and I was back in college, just because I watched every movie of him over and over and over. And I was so fascinated with his drive and determination to show the world what he could be. They try to stigmatize him as a runner. I remember he had a hard time wanting to run the mile when his coach was like, no, you got to do the 5K. Like, he a lot of times is challenged. And I like that, how he was a rebel, and it's like, I'm going to show you I can be good. and so I got to run in college at the actual track and field. It was called the Prefontaine Classics. And just being on there, and like, it feels so cool to see as a kid. It's like, this is an experience. I'm running on a track, and the whole town, it was in Oregon, was just like track. A lot of times you see, I love football, don't get me wrong, but I grew up from a small town where football was everything.
Yeah.
So it was so different when I went to Oregon and I saw like all these track places. Like, I even saw a pizza shop named after the track. Like, it was amazing. I was like, wow, this is a track city town. Like, it was awesome to see that. So I would say that's probably a very memorable experience for me running.
Who's your favorite football team?
Dallas Cowboys.
Let's go. Yes. Let's go. I'm a big Cowboy fan too. Let's go.
Okay. See, you're right there with me. See, there's a reason why we connected.
We have, my father, my father brought me up as a Cowboy fan when I was younger, and he went to boarding school in Arkansas, and he watched, he grew up watching Texas football. And then when he was in Arkansas, he was in Jerry Jones's world. Jerry Jones' area. So that's how he became a Cowboy fan. And he told me when I was 6, 7, 8 years old, he told me, the only way you're gonna stay in this house if you're a Cowboys fan. So I was forced to be a Cowboys fan from my father.
Oh my God!
Yeah,
Did you have the starter jacket?
Huh?
You remember the starter jacket?
Yes. My dad had that, and now I bleed blue and silver until I die. So.
Oh my gosh, I love that.
Let's go. Now we definitely have to meet in person.
Yeah. I will have to. Just 1 second. I have something right here. I'm going to show you why you're going to like it. So I have to show you this. You can see it.
Oh my. Ooh, let's go. There you go.
And why that's special is because that was my mom's jacket.
Oh my. Oh wow.
And so she was a Cowboys fan. So I've kept that to me. That's one of my precious things. I'm like, I keep with me.
Wow. So your mom brought you up as a Cowboy fan?
Yeah. So it was always a house divided between some of my uncles and aunts. We all loved Cowboys, but then at the time they loved the Houston Oilers. And I'm like, no.
Yeah, we had a couple of former Cowboys on our show before, and we have another former Cowboy coming up this week on the show. I don't know if you remember him, George Teague. Yeah, he was a safety for the Cowboys. He's coming on the show, I think, Monday. So.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's so awesome how you get to come back as even a child growing up and seeing all that.
Yeah. So speaking of, one of our fans want to know, what music do you like to listen to when while you're running? Obviously, when you're competing. Actually, they want to know when you're getting ready for a big race or a big run. What music? They want to know what music you like to tune into before.
The cool thing about it is I like all types of music, and I'll do what's called a running hype song. So I actually let a special fan pick it for me.
Okay.
So before each race, I will have somebody pick a song while I'm warming up to listen to. So it's been a variety. And the reason why, again, it goes back to, I'm not in it alone. Every step I'm taking it with you, me, anybody. So I actually let the people that have been supportive, they pick the song for me. And it doesn't matter if it's a slow song, fast song, I've had a variety. So there's not a certain one really.
Wow. Yeah. So let's obviously if you're not racing or not running, um, they one of our fans want to know, what do you like to do?
I'm a foodie. I love my food. A lot of times people are like, another food picture you're posting? They're like, you need your reality show, like Eating with Eve or something. But I like experiencing new experiences in alone, but also just like eating at places that maybe sometimes people don't know about, discovering, like even if it's a hole in the wall place or a different place, even if it's like when I go travel to another state or city, I always like to try somewhere I've never been. So nothing like so much corporate, just because I want that experience. If I could eat in my own town, I want to try something different. I don't have the option to. So definitely eating.
Since you're in Kansas and Texas, I mean, since you're from Texas and Kansas, I'm sure you had a lot of barbecue.
Yes, I do. Oh yeah, hands down. And even with Mexican food, because I try to explain to people that Tex-Mex is different down there from the Mexican food up here. It's just different, like the sweetness or the spiciness. It's really different. And that's another thing I like to do that some people are like, you are crazy, because I love doing hot challenges, like any type of hot spicy foods. I can actually handle a lot of spiciness. I've done stuff from there was one called like the hot wing challenge, and they don't tell you everything they put in it. They say it has like ghost pepper, some of the hottest chili peppers in the coated around the wings. And I remember one time when the server came and the challenge, she's like, are you sure you want to do this? And I was like, I can do it. She's like, I've seen grown men cry from this. And it's definitely an experience. I would say the minute it touched my lips, my lips went numb. And that's how potent it was. But I love stuff like that. Even as a little kid, I would sometimes make little bets with my cousins. I'd be like, bet you $5 I can eat this whole jalapeno. Like, I love the stuff like that. So I guess you could say I've always been a daredevil kind of with stuff.
That's crazy. I mean, ghost pepper is one of the most spiciest pepper out there, and I'm sure you have tried Indian food before then too.
Oh yes, I love. Yep.
Yeah,
I can do the extra spicy. When I say it too, the level of hotness, people are like, are you sure? I'm like, yes. I love that. But I also like to dance. Dancing, I feel like, is another way to express yourself. I might not be the world's best dancer, but I like just to have fun with it, be goofy and put in good songs.
Party person, right? Also
got that skill of living life. That's why a lot of times people say I've got a unique taste in music, because I like stuff from anywhere. I even like the 50s, 60s, 80s up till now. And music, I feel like, is the way people express themselves. So I think that's why I take to it, is because I like seeing, like, if you listen to lyrics on a lot of songs, it tells you what the person was going through at the time when they created it.
Yeah. So now obviously you're focused on the youth too with your brand. And what's it like seeing young kids now not playing on the video games that much? They're always outside during the summertime. I love seeing kids playing with each other, tackle, whatever they want to do, just do it outside. So what's like seeing the youth now being more outside in the summertime?
I like it because it brings us back. I know as a child, I remember I could go outdoors and I would race the neighbors. That was fun for me. I was like, hey, bet you I can beat you. We'd be lined up in the neighborhood running. And, you did so much like outdoor activities as a kid. And then, technology took over, which technology is good in ways. But it also, I felt like a lot of times people kind of just stayed indoors and didn't want to get out there as much. So I like seeing the youth out there and challenging themselves. And every so often I'll even go to some like track and field meets or any type of stuff my friends and their kids have, just because I like to support them, because I think it's very important at that age to have that positivity. Like I said, nowadays they're exposed to so much that it can be good or bad for them. So it's just good to give them that reinforcement so they know there's hope looking up.
Yeah, so I gotta ask, I'm just curious, since you're a Cowboy fan too, on a scale of 1 to 10, how much do you hate Stephen A. Smith? If you know him.
Well, it's kind of hard because like I have a love relationship with sometimes that football players at the time. I'm like, oh, why did they do that? Or, and then I'll forgive them like, okay, no one's perfect. But I'm skill 1 to 2. I would just say 3 or 4. I'm not bad like that.
Yeah, it's just
We'll go 3. We'll say 3.
so how I can't wait for the season. So how confident are you in this team? Hopefully we can do some good things this year.
We do. I mean, I definitely do. A lot of times I felt like last year. Oh my gosh, that was so heartbreaking the last game too. I surely thought we were gonna come back and stuff, but it's every year people are like, you still stick with them and you get probably your heart broken a lot. And I'm like, you know what, this is the year. I'll keep saying it. I'll keep saying it to happen. This is the year, I just Cowboys, I'm diehard Cowboy fans up here. It's a Kansas City Chiefs are big. So I definitely get tested a lot. They'll even sometimes they'll have like a red day, National Red Day, it'll be red, and my honorary self, I'll be in my blue.
Yes. How about them Cowboys? Let's go.
Yeah, let's go. This will be our year. We got it.
Speaking of the Chiefs, we had the opportunity to speak to Patrick Mahomes' father on the show, the quarterback for the Chiefs, and it was an honor talking to him. And what a great family they have with the Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes, and great family.
And he's still part of Texas with him, so
Yeah.
Especially the Whataburgers they have opened up. There's been so many around here.
Yeah. I can't wait. Yeah. So
you ever tried one?
No, I haven't tried one yet.
Oh gosh, we gotta get that on your bucket list.
Yes, I need to try that. I need to try that. You tried it before, right?
Oh yes. I thought, because I'm from a small town and we had one. So when I had moved up to Kansas, they didn't have none way up here. And it wasn't until like probably about a year ago, I think is when the first one opened. And now a lot are starting to, but I was joking and said, well, it takes somebody from Kansas or Texas to come to Kansas and do that. I was like, very, very excited. And even till today, you're still waiting in line for an hour. That's drive through. So it gets really packed up here.
So before we get to the last two things, what are you most looking forward to? Obviously, when is your next big event coming up or pop-up event? And what are you just most looking forward to with your brand and your next running event?
So the next event is tomorrow, actually, for a pop-up event. And that's going to be at a known field, which will be a new experience for me. It's called a Legends Field, really big, and it's a car show. So there's going to be people from all over. So I'm excited to get to talk to people. And sometimes I say cars are like their baby. So again, it goes to seeing what their personality is. I'm like, so what made you pick that? So I get to talk to them and learn to them. Definitely they're trying to get me to do another 5K run in August, so I'm probably going to do that. But on my bucket list, I say I want to have before the end of the year is I do want to run a 5K in like another state, just somewhere different. Just a new experience. I feel like that would be so awesome to get to run out there. You never know, it might be New York.
Go, or New Jersey, or New Jersey also.
Yep. And New Jersey, I would love to go see that. That's a side of the city, like the states I haven't yet gone to, but I've learned never say never, because you never know when it's going to come up. And I would definitely say I'm looking forward. There's another pop-up event later on in July, and that one's giving back. They do it in honor. It's a car show one. They do it in honor of a girl in her family where her father and the lady's husband had passed away. So they do it in honor for him. It's a special way to raise money to help for her first car. They were going to do giving back. So I'm honored to get to be part of that. Any type of fundraiser, stuff like that, giving back, I like to take a part of that. There's another one coming up in July that's in Wichita, Kansas, and that one is for it's a hairstylist she has her own shop, and so she's throwing it together, but she's giving back a lot. Like the proceeds will go to kids to help them out that can't maybe afford like good combs or hygiene and stuff. So I'm going to be a part of that with the brand. So there's definitely a lot more coming up, and my mission is I think definitely to take Believe and Achieve to run in another state would be awesome. and to keep adding on more states and reaching people. So if you're watching this, tell them, invite me to the races. I want to go and be a part of that. I want to explore more. And I feel like there's so much more out there in the world I've yet to explore.
Yeah, so we'll take one more fan question. One of our fans wanted to know, what did you learn from the Jesse Owens camp?
Discipline, very disciplined. If you want something, you got to work for it. And the reason why I took from that is seeing all the other kids. It's a special type of love. I think that's when you truly know you've got a different type of love for that sport. Some people can like doing it, but when you go to that extent at a young age, seeing how serious people were, and then in a way, I'd say that also made me who I am, because it taught me to have the love for running. Like I said, I went from long jump to triple jump to, after my brother had spent many hours, and I know he probably was like, what, you want to run now? Because he was my coach. But I think that's what made me. And it also rubbed off, because to this day, if you go to my high school, I still hold the record for the mile and 800. The next person that's right underneath me is my little sister.
Wow.
So it tells you running is made inside of us, definitely.
Yeah, we come from a running family. There you go.
Yes.
But the last two things here, our team is part of this foundation. It's called the Hugh Jackson Foundation. We're trying to help them prevent human trafficking, making sure the community stays safe, the kids stay safe, and it's still horrible out there what we're seeing with human trafficking, and we need to stop that now. So we'll send you the foundation so you can go check it out.
Definitely love anything to support like that. And to anybody listening, if there's ever any type of foundations or anything else going on, don't be a stranger just because you don't know me, let me know. I love to be a part of that with the brand. Again, it's not just me, it's for everybody else. So we keep carrying the message strong. You giving that hope, believe and achieve. We can make a difference.
And the last thing here, would you like to say anything to all the nurses, doctors, and all the essential workers right now?
Thank you. A big, big thank you. I know it's very stressful. They probably are not getting days off either. And I feel like they're probably going through some mental stuff too, because when you have to see that over and over, it can be very disturbing. And so I do give you a lot of respect and thank you for your services, because you are giving up your life so that we have better lives.
Yeah, well said there. And before we close this out, would you like to plug anything to our fans, where our fans can find you on social media, and what they can, where they can find your website, or and someone asked earlier about your 30-day challenge. So would you like to plug anything to our fans?
Yes. Well, next time maybe New Jersey, do the podcast, find me. Yes, but you can again go to www.runnereve.com. Again, it's a variety from men and women, even to little kids, from leisure to athletic wear. So it's not just workout stuff. You can go on there for events. You can go to runnereve, the number 1, at gmail.com. So runnereve1@gmail.com. If you have any inquiries maybe about events or want to get a hold of me that way to maybe work on stuff, I'm always open. You can go to my Instagram page at runnereve. I have Facebook at Runner Eve. I also have YouTube channels starting off with Runner Eve. So there's different ways to get a hold of me. So definitely reach out. I want to help spreading out that message, the positivity. And I feel like just go to there. You can also check out, if you live in Overland Park, Kansas, there's a boutique called Danae Dakota. You can find my actual Believe and Achieve clothing line sold there too. So there's not an excuse. You can carry the message anywhere.
Yeah. So there you have it. That wraps up episode 1020 with the talented, amazing, beautiful Runner Eve. And she has her own clothing brand. Go check it out. Believe and Achieve. Man, this was an amazing story, an inspiring story. Thanks for joining our show today. It's really an honor to have you and speak on your story. And you obviously been through a lot with the loss of your mother, and sorry about that again. And our prayers and thoughts are with you guys with that. And obviously keep honoring her in a big way, and keep growing her brand. And like I said, we need to. I'm going to ask my team how do we put this into a future, because you deserve one. I think a lot of people in the whole world needs to know about your story, and you deserve that attention. And like I said, thank you for joining us, and thank you to our fans for tuning in and asking questions, because we always love fan interaction on the show. And we would love to have you back on the show down the line whenever you're free, so you can meet the full team. And obviously, our goal is to meet in person. At some point down the line, we can meet in person if you come back to Florida or New Jersey, New York. But keep up the great work with your brand. If you need anything, we're here. Our team and you are family now, and since we're connected. And every time I love connecting with all these people on the show, we say we're all family. So you're part of you're added to another part of our family on the list. So, and I'm happy that we got to connect. And shout out to Courtney. That's how I found you, from Courtney.
Thank you, Courtney.
Yeah, so shout out to him, and man, and just keep up the amazing. I can't get enough of you. You're such an amazing person.
Appreciate you too, and I look forward. This won't be the last time. Okay, we gotta be in the Cowboy stadiums together too.
We gotta wear Cowboy stuff together in person.
Yes, thank you so much. I appreciate everything.
Anytime.